The war has only added a new dimension of claustrophobia to those who live here in Gaza, who like to often describe themselves as residents of an open-air prison. The deeper questions of a Palestinian state will come later, but they say first at least, lift the blockade, lift those restrictions that make their day-to-day lives deeply oppressive. Nagam, thanks for talking to us. Now, with this blockade, I'm talking now before the war. For someone like you, if you wanted to leave Gaza, go out, how much of a problem is it?
If I want to apply for any country that I want to travel to,
yes,
first of all, I need an invitation, an informal invitation, and it's difficult to get like this invitation.
Yes.
And if I'm lucky to get this invitation,
yes,
I need like 3 weeks until I get the permit or the visa to travel to any country. And after that, if I'm so lucky, I will leave Gaza in case the border is open.
So you either have the choice of leaving from Erez or from Rafah, which is Erez is Israel and Rafah is Egypt.
Yeah. And sometimes there are another problem that Egyptian doesn't allow us to enter Egypt. So they take us immediately from the border to the airport with a special pass. So you have to stay at the airport until you get your plane to get out from Egypt.
When is the last time he actually went out of Gaza?
متى كانت آخر مرة طلعت فيها من غزة؟ هذا إذا كنت طلعت.
والله أضحك عليك أقول لك طلعت ما طلعتش.
He didn't get a chance to get out of Gaza.
He's never been out of Gaza.
Never.
What about this handsome young man here?
سافرت قبل هيك من غزة.
لا ما سافرت.
He doesn't also.
He's never gone out of Gaza.
Yeah.
So as we can see that this blockade is operating in a fairly complex way. I mean, if you look at the shelves of the store that we're in, it's pretty well stocked. I mean, you have different kinds of Italian pasta here, you have different kinds of tea, you've got, this looks like some kind of Turkish chocolate paste, you've got pulses. So a lot of goods are coming in. It's not as if Israel is necessarily stopping these goods, but at the same time, they have to all pass through Israel's borders, and it needs permission. A lot of these goods tend to be Israeli, but at the same time, as I said, it's not the kind of severe shortage that you associate with the situation in Palestine. I think the bigger problem really is, and this is something we're hearing again and again, is the loss of freedom of individual movement. I think that really is the key and the heart of this entire blockade business. So we're here in this fruit shop in Gaza, and this is again an amazing thing about Gaza. There's farming that goes on around here. You don't know that because it's so heavily dense and urban.
والله كنا احنا نصدر الحمضيات، وكنا نصدر يعني خيار بندورة، حاجات كثير فراولة، يعني بسبب الحصار بطلت تطلع الحاجات المنتجات هذه كلها المنتجات بطلت تطلع يعني.
So earlier you could export vegetables grown here outside of Gaza, like tomatoes. You're saying the tomatoes are these tomatoes from Gaza?
هذه الطماطم هذا غزة.
These are like famous. These are like really good, famous tomatoes. You could now you can't do that.
Now they can't do it.
And even strawberries.
Israel prevent them to export it outside of Gaza.
Israel is blocking that, and also strawberries.
Strawberry as a fruit, yes.
But they can import stuff from Israel.
تقدروا تجيبوا شغلات من إسرائيل.
So this is another typical scene from the blockade, these long bread queues. Because of the problem of electricity here, there's a very limited time that these bread factories can run, isn't it, Nagam? And that's why the supply can't keep pace with the demand, and you're literally seeing fights breaking out here between people because of the shortage of bread and the limited amount of time that these factories are actually open. Lifting the blockade will spare the daily humiliation that the residents of Gaza have to go through to ensure their basic freedoms. It will also ensure that the Palestinian authorities will have no excuses left. They will simply have to deliver the future that they've promised to the next generation of those who live here. In Gaza City with camera person Sanjay Mandal and Neha Masi, Srinivasan Jain for NDTV.